the hour of 6 o'clock having arrived, we're going to call the regular meeting of the Sherman Village Board to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Long?
Yes.
Trustee Long?
Yes.
Trustee Rockford?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
Trustee Tim?
Yes.
President Clapper?
Yes. 7 members of the village board present, quorum being established. We're going to proceed with the order of business as set forth on the agenda. For the record, today is Tuesday, January 22nd of 2019. We are at the Village Hall, 401 St. John Drive in Sherman, Illinois. The time is 6 p.m. This is a regular scheduled meeting of the Sherman Village Board of Trustees. Moving along in the opening, we're going to move to item number 2, and that's the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask everybody to stand, face the flag. Let's have Mr. Keith, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we need to set the agenda. The agenda has been posted 48 hours in advance of the meeting in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. There can be no action items added to the agenda, but trustees seeking recognition for the discussion purposes only, please forward those to the chair at this time. And trustees, seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion to set the agenda. Motion has been made by trustee Gray, seconded by trustee Rockford. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it. The agenda is set. We'll move to the clerk's report. Item number 1 is the presentation of the January 8th, 2019 meeting minutes. Those are presented by the clerk for approval, have been sent to the Board of Trustees prior to this meeting. You've had ample time to review those. If you find any corrections or additions to the minutes as presented by the clerk. Seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the January 8th, 2019 minutes. Is there a motion to that effect? Motion's been made by trustee Hahn, seconded by trustee Gray. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Long?
Yes.
Trustee Long?
Yes.
Trustee Rockford?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
Trustee Tim?
Yes.
6 members voting yes, none voting no. The minutes are approved, will be disseminated on the website and for anybody else who requests them. Item number 2 is the presentation of the bills for approval. Bills have been presented in your board member packet. Are there any trustees seeking clarification on any bills? Is there anything to point out?
I just have a question. Is WT, is that related fraud?
WT?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That was my question.
Yep. Any other questions?
I have a question. In the police one is a range use fee, user fee.
Chief, you want to answer that?
Range use fee?
$150 range use.
Oh, yeah, that's new this year for the Springfield Police Academy, for our use of
Is that the one by the
pistol
fairgrounds?
rounds. Yes.
Yeah, we have to pay for that now?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we need a motion to pay the bills. Is there a motion to that effect? Trustee Long makes a motion, seconded by trustee Tim. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Long?
Yes.
Trustee Long?
Yes.
Trustee Rockford?
Yes.
Trustee Schultz?
Yes.
Trustee Tim?
Yes.
6 members voting yes, none voting no. The bills are approved for payment. There is no treasurer's report.
That's right.
Yeah, no treasurer's report this evening. Village engineer has the evening off as there is a light agenda. The legal report, same. Legal counsel, village administrator and economic development coordinator, nothing to report. Brings us to the president's report. We have before us listed as item number 1, an ordinance amending liquor and video gaming licensure ordinance. We're going to only address the liquor component of this this ordinance. So there is an ordinance on the table, an ordinance increasing the number of Class A liquor licenses available within the village under the Village Liquor Code. It would be a Class A liquor license. The village has Class A liquor license, a Class A1, a Class B, a Class C, a Class D, a Class F, and that's it for liquor licenses. We do have a potential prospect, a new business that would be coming to the village. We've been in discussions with the individual. We would love to see this project come to fruition. Associated with it would be a liquor license. It would be a coffee and wine bar that would open up in the old space in the crossing, commonly known to all of us as Fern's Coffee House. So there would be another establishment along the same lines coming in that would have specialty coffees, I believe, have wine, which would be something a little bit different and new to the village in terms of any wine connoisseurs are out there, anybody seeking kind of the wine atmosphere, some of the events and things associated with the business model would be to have like wine nights, trivia nights, bingo nights, things of that nature. Anything else I need to add? I talked to each of the board members individually, kind of communicated what I know. You've communicated to me what you know, what you think, and where you stand on bringing a new business to the village and under the criteria and requirements that you would like to see. I think the consensus is to move forward on issuing this additional license, and administratively, the village president would issue the license to the establishment. But before that can happen, since the village has a set number of liquor licenses, the village president, administrative offices cannot issue any liquor licenses until the village board sets policy to increase the number of liquor licenses by one, which would be, the intent would be to go to that specific entity. Any questions, any discussion? Okay, seeing,
Well-
yes, trustee Schultz.
Yeah, I don't object to a liquor license and having a wine bar and coffee bar is fine, as long as it does not include a gaming license.
At this time, it would not include a gaming license. I know your concerns regarding that. We've had that conversation. Some of the others that have that conversation with and your concerns. The individual would like to open this business, go at it, have a specialty coffee entity, specialty wines, I guess you call it specialty wines, and then do some of those extracurricular business type activities there. As time moves on and they demonstrate that they are an actual entity that is doing business much like some of our other businesses, where they're catering to the general public and our constituents in a fashion that is customary to essentially, food products and, wine, alcohol, liquor, products in that fashion. And then depending on the revenues, expenses versus revenues, and then demonstrating that this is what their mission and, statement is. They may want to come forward in the next 6, 8, 10, 12 months and apply for a gaming license. But I know the feeling of the board is to not come out of the gate and have something that would potentially, look like it's just a gaming use. So that is addressed in this initiative moving forward, but still does potentially, hopefully bring in a new business. And then we can evaluate that as we move forward. Once they demonstrate that, hey, this is what we're here, we're part of the community, we want to do good, we're here to, sell coffee, sell wine, have these fun nights for constituents in the town, and then move forward, and supplement their revenues, their rent. I will tell you that most of our businesses tell me that, the gaming machines, and Sherman doesn't have a lot of gaming play when you comparatively look at it analytically against some of the other places in town. I believe we have one establishment that does pretty well with the machines. The others, and from those business owners talking to me and telling me that, this isn't making essentially such and such payments, but it's helping to offset that, or it's, it's providing for this part of the payroll or something along those lines, property taxes, something along those lines. I don't think the play in this location would be what we would potentially think, but I don't know that either. So we've had a few businesses go in that location. Hasn't, one's went in, one's went out, one's went in, one's went out. Hopefully this one is prosperous and brings a good, business to our town. And then, if they demonstrate that, and then revenues are what they are, then we'll look at, potentially adding another aspect to it, but not out of the gate. So, any other discussion questions, concerns, anything? Okay, so there's an ordinance on the table, an ordinance increasing the number of Class A liquor licenses available within the village under the village liquor code. Ordinance number 2019-01, so this is actually the first ordinance to be passed for 2019. That all being said, the chair would entertain a motion to approve and adopt this ordinance. Is there a motion to that effect? Trustee Tim makes a motion. Is there a second? Is there a second? Seconded by Trustee Rockford. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Gray,
Yes.
Trustee Hahn,
Yes.
Trustee Long, Trustee Rockford,
Yes.
Trustee Schultz,
Yes.
Trustee Tim, yes.
Okay, with 6 members voting yes, none voting no, the ordinance will be adopted, signed by the village president, and go into effect, increasing the number of liquor licenses in the village of Sherman. Item number 2 is to change the board meeting date from February 5th to February 12th, 2019. We have a few board members that have conflicts for the February 5th meeting, so we're going to need to move and push that back. So we're going to change the board meeting from February 5th to February 12th. Everybody okay with that? Consensus?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, ayes have it. Board meeting will be on February 12th, 2019. There is another board meeting that follows that immediately the next week. So depending on what the agenda looks like, I'm not gonna say we're gonna cancel the 12th, but it could be, just if we don't have a lot of agenda items. But count on the 12th at this point in time. Committee and department reports. Any committee and department reports? There are none. The Sherman Police Department, Chief Banger, do you have anything to report from the police department? Sherman Emergency Management Agency, Director Mike Mose, nothing to report. Public Works has the evening off. These guys have been, as well as our police and emergency management, everybody's been working very hard, working together cooperatively. Director Mose has been having conference calls with the National Weather Service, watching all of these storms that are coming in, communicating it nicely to the various different entities, police department, administration, fire department, and all the public works department. So I think the process is working out very nicely. We're getting the guys out, communicating between the police, on-duty officers, with the public works director, looking at hot spots, not hot spots, cold spots, slick spots around town. We monitor various different avenues of communication to the village and send the trucks to those specific places if and when needed. So everything's been working very nicely, and Public Works, they've got a pretty good process and system in place now, so gotten a lot of compliments on snow removal. New business, there is no new business to come before the board. There is no old business to come before the board. There are no civic organizations seeking recognition that we've added to the agenda, which would bring me and us to the public comment period of the meeting. I have a couple of I have 3 individuals who have signed in to speak and address the board. I will call them up in the order that they have signed in. The first individual is Mr. Larry Stone. Mr. Stone, you are recognized for 3 minutes to address the board under the public comment period. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. A couple comments. Has the certified audit been released? I asked for this about 6 weeks ago. At the time, I compared when it was released for the prior fiscal year. You were already 6 weeks late, so now you're about 3 months late. I'm kind of puzzled why if it's not already available. I just looked on your website and I did not see the most recent audit. I'm just asking you a question.
Right, but this isn't a public
I mean,
question period,
I
it's a
would
public
think-
comment
I
period.
think
I'll
Mr.
address it, just please make your comments, and then I will address some of the
All right.
questions.
That is my comment with regards to that. I
Okay.
don't know if you wanted to address that at one or two.
I'll do it at the end.
All right. My second one is, do we have an accounting of the total cost of the park? That's my only other one I have, sir.
Okay,
Will you address that as well?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so the audit has been completed, is my understanding. We will be meeting with the auditors to go over the audit. Audit is going to be put on the agenda in February to be presented to the board, the public, anybody wishing to see it, hear it, and then it's added to the village website and put out any other ways that it needs to be. So the audit is definitely going to be presented from that podium by a Fortune 500 company, Sikich, who has been auditing the village. You've read the audits. They will
Yes, I
put
have.
that out in due time, but there are scheduling, not conflicts or whatever, but there's certain times when we can all get together and put that out. We've always put these, the audits out at various different times within weeks of it being presented to us. So,
With your, if I could just add one question, sir. Your fiscal year ends April 30th, and we're approaching almost 2 years, and that's very unusual that it would take you that long.
no, that's not correct. That's not correct at all.
When is your
That means,
fiscal year end?
sir, this is not, this is where we get into the
All right,
back
go
and
ahead,
forth,
excuse
and
me.
it's public comment period. So if you would like, again, I'll make myself available. Trustee Schultz can make himself available. Any of us will make ourselves available after the meeting. We can meet in my office, we can meet wherever you would like. I've met with you numerous times
Yes,
before
I have.
regarding
Thank
different
you.
issues.
You've been
The
very
public
good.
park, has been bid on multiple different occasions, different phases, and so there's an accounting. I don't have it right in front of me because I did not know what your question would be. Again, I can have that conversation with you after this meeting as well.
Thank you.
So, anybody? Okay, so let's move on to the next individual who signed in to speak. We have Sean Bull.
Just want to say a quick thanks to Public Works. You guys did an awesome job plowing and everybody involved. But the chamber has a breakfast coming up February 7th. We've got our Sherman's own Biggest Loser, Sonia Jones. She's going to be joining us. She's our main speaker for the event. It's going to take place at Farm Credit. It goes from 7 to 9, February 7th. Please RSVP. It's open to everybody, the public. We invite you all. If you are interested in attending, go out on Facebook, like the event page, and then contact us and let us know you're going to be there. But February 7th, we'd love to have you guys there.
All
Thanks.
right, very good, thank you, sir. The next individual is Mr. He's not here, is he? Where's John Miller? Oh, there you are. Mr. John Miller.
You need somebody over here.
I'm wondering right where you're supposed to be.
That's good.
That's all right. Okay, hello. I wanted to back up and see when the community, well, in the village, what the plan is to do about addressing the teenage court here. What's the situation? I'm curious what our plan is to deal with our teens. The teen court.
Well, I think that's more of a question for the police department and the chief of police. The chief of police is the one that works with and administers the teen court or any kind of teen activity or diversion programs. I know that the police department can and does do station adjustments from time to time regarding the situation. So administratively, there are things that can be done to take corrective action for teens to keep them out of the juvenile justice system, much like the teen court would do. So you can do that in-house with your police department through a station adjustment administratively. And that is, up to the chief of police to decide. So that being said,
Okay, thank you.
we'll move on to the next item, which would be executive session, of which there is not any executive session this evening. So, looks like we've got another good, quick meeting. Is there any further business to come before the board? Anybody have anything? Nothing? Okay, so the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion to that effect? Trustee Hahn makes a motion. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Long. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. We're adjourned at 6:21. Thank you, everybody.